Your IVF process will be able to start with the onset of your next menstrual period. When you begin your period on cycle day 1, you will either email me or contact me at Boca Fertility. At that time, I will inform you as to when you'll be able to begin your birth control pills, schedule your pre-testing, and do your follow-up appointments at that time. Your IVF process will take place over 3 menstrual cycles. Your first month, you will be placed on birth control pills to downregulate the ovaries. We will also schedule any pre-testing that Dr. Paris has recommended. With your second period, you will begin the stimulation process. These medications will take place over the next 8 to 12 days. Then you will have your egg retrieval, and we will create your embryos. With your third menses, we will prepare your uterus for implantation. You will begin estrogen patches on your period, and then approximately 18 days later, you will come in for a lining check. If everything looks good with your lining at that time, we will begin progesterone injections, and your transfer is approximately 1 week later. Then your exciting blood pregnancy test will be 9 days after your transfer. Your IVF medications will start on your period. Those injections will be given sub-Q, which means an injection in your belly area, for about 8 to 12 days. Average is 10 days. Then you'll be ready for your final trigger shot, which Dr. Paris will decide either Lupron trigger or HCG. This will give the eggs the final maturation that they need. 2 days later, you will have your exciting egg retrieval process. The following day, we will begin your medication called Lupron. This will downregulate your ovaries and get you ready for your embryo transfer. The next big injection would be the progesterone injections. And I know you hear very exciting information about those, but they're not as bad as they tend to sound. Those injections are given nightly between 6 to 8 p.m., and your partner, I'm sure, will be happy to help you out. The injections may not last for 12 weeks because your bottom will become a little bit bumpy and tender. That's to be expected. At that time, we'll change you to a vaginal support to provide that pregnancy support till 12 weeks. Dr. Paris does not encourage any new high-impact aerobic activity during your IVF process, such as running, jumping, and twisting. Walking is great. It's actually a great stress reliever. Treadmills, elliptical, stairmasters all tend to do very well. The average weight gain during your IVF cycle could be anywhere from 3 to 5 pounds. This typically goes away on its own. If you start to gain more than 2 to 3 pounds per day after your egg retrieval, we highly encourage you to contact the office so we can bring you in for an evaluation with Dr. Paris just to make sure there's no signs of hyperstimulation. If you have any complications after hours, we would advise you to contact Dr. Paris directly on his cell phone. On the day of your egg retrieval, an anesthesiologist will provide IV sedation. The procedure with Dr. Paris will take approximately 10 to 15 minutes, depending upon how many potential eggs you have. Your recovery at Boca Fertility will be approximately 1 hour. Due to the anesthesia, you're not able to drive home that day, and also we ask that you do stay at home and rest for the remainder of the day. On the day of your transfer, the transfers are typically done in the afternoon. You're more than welcome to go to work that morning and have a nice lunch before your arrival at Boca Fertility. After the transfer, we do ask that you go home and rest, which means no cooking, no cleaning, just relaxing at home and watching great, funny movies. Following your egg retrieval, it is very common to have spotting for a day or so. That typically will subside on its own. If you start to experience any heavy flow, Dr. Paris will do an evaluation, but typically the bleeding does subside on its own with no problems. Your embryo transfer is not uncomfortable. It is similar to an intrauterine insemination. Dr. Paris will use a very flexible catheter to perform the transfer. The most discomfort you may experience is from having a full bladder, and this allows Dr. Paris to do an abdominal ultrasound to evaluate the placement of the transfer. Following your embryo transfer, we will guide you to the restroom, and after you use the restroom, you'll feel so much better. Once you have your egg retrieval, you will then abstain until your following period. Then you'll be able to resume normal activity at that time. But once you have your transfer completed, we will advise you and encourage to abstain from intercourse until pregnancy has been confirmed. Once pregnancy has been confirmed, We will provide further instructions at that time. Following your embryo transfer, Dr. Paris will recommend for you to go home and relax, which means no cooking, no cleaning, just relaxing. We do encourage you to order in or have your partner make you a fantastic dinner for the evening. You may go to work the next day, but we still want you to just take it easy, no high impact activity at that time. On the day of your egg retrieval, there is no medications to be taken prior to your retrieval. We will actually ask that you have nothing to eat or drink as of midnight prior due to anesthesia. Following your egg retrieval, you will go home and Motrin or Advil will do you best that day. We will start your medication called Lupron the next day to downregulate your ovaries to get you ready for transfer. On the day of your transfer, upon arrival to the office, we ask that you start drinking your 48 ounces of water. While you're drinking your water, you will meet with the embryologist. The embryologist will review your embryo report at that time. Then we will take you to the exam room. Upon arrival to the exam room, you will be given a Valium medication. This is to relax you and your uterus on the day of transfer. Once you go home, we ask that you continue your progesterone support and your estrogen patches. Once you're pregnant, this medication will continue through the first trimester, which is 12 weeks of pregnancy. You may develop a slight fever. Anything over 100 degrees or persist, we ask that you do contact the office for further instructions. Dr. Paris will ask you to take regular or extra strength Tylenol and to call if the fever does not go down on its own. Estrogen and progesterone have been found to be safe during pregnancy. There's no data to show that there is any harm to you or your pregnancy at this time. We ask that you do not travel during your IVF process. During your stimulation phase, you're going to be coming in for very multiple appointments. These appointments are vital for Dr. Paris to provide you the best medical care. These appointments will be blood work and ultrasound to monitor the egg development. If you're out of town, then we will not be able to perform these appointments. These appointments tend to be around 10 to 12 days, so we do ask that you stay in the local area during this time period. Once your pregnancy has been confirmed, Dr. Paris will perform the first ultrasound to confirm placement at 6.5 weeks. We will monitor your pregnancy until approximately 10 weeks. Then we will refer you back to your OBGYN for continued prenatal care at that time. Boca Fertility will be happy to verify your IVF coverage. Some insurance may provide coverage for your IVF program. If your insurance unfortunately does not, Boca Fertility will provide you with a discounted self-pay package. This package will include your monitoring phase, your egg retrieval, and your freezing of embryos and your cryo cycle. Anesthesia will be an additional cost of around $450. We will provide your medications through a specialty fertility pharmacy, and that pharmacy would ship the medications directly to you. The approximate cost, including Boca Fertility and anesthesia medications, will be around approximately $24,000. Boca Fertility participates with Prosper Lending. You may visit our website at bocafertility.com. You will see the link directly to Prosper Lending. If Prosper Lending does not work out for you, please feel free to contact Boca Fertility at any time, and a team member would be more than happy to assist you with any further possibilities that may be there.